Okay, so since Fortnite Chapter 6 is coming out very soon, I want to make a video on what I would like for Fortnite Chapter 6. I would want the map to be big, or like Chapter 2, or like Chapter 1, 2, and 3 map size big. Basically, I just want the Chapter 6 map to be the same size as Chapter 1, 2, and 3, and Chapter 5. I just don't want the Chapter 6 map to be the same size as the Chapter 4 map was. The number one issue, or my number one problem that I had with Chapter 4, and I'm probably going to make a video about why I think Chapter 4 is the worst chapter. I personally didn't really have that much fun playing Chapter 4. I'll go more in deep into why I didn't like Chapter 4 that much in my why I hated on the why I hate Chapter 4 video. I'm gonna upload a video soon on why I personally didn't really like Chapter 4 that much. And again, like I said earlier, my number one problem that I had with Chapter 4 was that it was such a small map. I just don't want Chapter 6 to be a small map. And from the leaked roadmap, it looks like Chapter 6 is going to be themed around floating islands. So maybe Chapter 6 isn't really going to be a whole island. Maybe Chapter 6 is going to have a bunch of islands, but it's just one map. But it's going to have a bunch of floating islands, maybe floating in the air or something. But basically what I'm trying to say, the Chapter 6 map might not be a connected island. Maybe the Chapter 6 island is going to be broken in parts, or the islands for the Chapter 6 island might be broken in parts. You know what I'm saying? I think you guys do. I think I explained it pretty well enough. I think that would be pretty cool. I honestly think that would be pretty cool. Honestly, I honestly think that would be pretty cool. I just hope the Chapter 6 map is not the same size as Chapter 4. And I just have a feeling that since the Chapter 6 map is going to be themed around floating islands, I just have a feeling that the Chapter 6 map is going to be somewhat around the same size as the Chapter 4 map. Because the Chapter 4 map was created from taking island parts from other realities. And Chapter 6 is themed around floating islands. And what was the Chapter 4 map made out of? Random islands, random pieces of land scattered from from some realities. So I really hope the Chapter 6 map is not the same size as the Chapter 4 map. That is the number one thing that I do not want for Chapter 6. It's like I just want it to be either about the same size as the Chapter 5 map, or the same size as the first 3 chapter maps. That is the number one thing I want for the next chapter. I just don't want it to be the same size as Chapter 4. Also, I would really love it if Epic Games brought back reality augments for next chapter. At first, when Chapter 4 came around, I didn't really like augments that much. But now that they took the augments away at the start of Chapter 5, I'm starting to kind of miss them. I'm being honest. I actually kind of miss the augments. I thought they shook up the game a little bit. Honestly, honestly, with all jokes aside and with all sarcasm aside, I honestly really miss the augments. I would not mind it if Epic Games actually brought back augments back for Chapter 6. I would honestly not mind it at all. Maybe they bring back all the old augments and throw in some new ones while they're at it, obviously. But I mean, yeah, I honestly would not mind it if they brought back reality augments. Another thing I want them to bring back is Shakedown. Why did they remove Shakedowns? And when did they remove Shakedowns? Was it in Chapter 3? No, I don't think it was I think it was in Chapter 4. I think they removed it at the start of Chapter 4. I can't remember if they removed that at Chapter 3 or Chapter 4. I think it was Chapter 4. But why would they remove it though? The Shakedown system was so cool. The Shakedown system stayed throughout the entirety of Chapter 2. It was probably also in the entirety of Chapter 3 also. Why would they remove it after Chapter 3? Why? I thought that was a really cool mechanic where if you knocked somebody, if you knocked an enemy player and you shook them, it would mark their surrounding teammates and you could go kill them. I thought that was really cool. I mean, at least bring that system back for squads. That would be extremely useful for squads. Like, the Shakedown system would make sense for Epic Games to bring back for squads only at least. Like if Epic Games isn't gonna bring back the shakedown system, at least bring it back for squads. It makes sense for them to bring it back for squads. Okay, another thing I want for Chapter 6, and I've given this a lot of thought. Believe me, I've given this a lot of thinking. I want Epic Games to bring back HitScan. Honestly, I would be fine with them bringing back HitScan. At first, I wasn't really on board with Epic Games bringing back HitScan for Chapter 6, which I'm pretty sure they are, given that the community has been given to the community, not backlash, the community feedback. Pretty much the entire Fortnite community is on board with Epic Games bringing back HitScan weapons for Chapter 6. At first, I wasn't on board, but after giving it a lot of thinking and a lot of thought process, I honestly would not mind that at all if Epic Games actually went down the path of bringing back HitScan weapons for the start of Chapter 6 and onwards. Honestly, I would not mind that at all. Honestly, I am fully on board now. I have no idea why I wasn't on board at first. I think it's probably because I was so used to the non-hit scan Chapter 5 weapons. So, like, yeah. Also, another thing I want. Epic Games, don't remove weapon mods. Keep them in the game, but change the weapon mods to fit, or to what's the word I'm looking for? To be able, okay, make it where whatever guns are in Chapter 6, right, and they have hit scan, right? If the Chapter 6 guns have hit scan, make it where the weapon mods can support those guns instead of the Chapter 5 guns. So basically, in Chapter 6, revamp the weapon mod bunker where it supports whatever guns Chapter 6 is gonna have with hit scan. And if they were to remove weapon mods, I wouldn't care. Like, honestly, I would not care if they removed weapon mods, but I would also not mind if weapon mods stick around and they revamped the weapon mods where they add new weapon mods, they add new scopes, new magazines, new whatever. They add whatever new weapon mods they would add for Chapter 6. Revamp the weapon mod bunker, or sorry, not revamp the weapon mod desk or whatever it's called, and make it support whatever guns we have in Chapter 6 with his skin. But if they are going to remove if they are going to remove the weapon mods and the weapon mod bunker, whatever it's called, I would be totally fine with that. I would not care. I'll be totally fine with that. Also, guys, I'll be right back. I'm gonna stop my recording here just to make sure my mic's being recorded. So I'll be right back, guys. Okay, I am back. My mic was being recorded. Thank God. I did not want to re-record this video. Thank God. Also, it was just raining near where I live. So if you guys heard some rain noises in the background, that was why. My apologies. I mean, it's not like I can control the weather, but you know, either way, my apologies for that. Okay, what else do I want for Chapter 6? Okay, so I already talked about bringing back the shakedown system mechanic, bringing back the augments. What else? Oh my god, it just popped into my head, but I forgot what it was. Oh my god, I forgot what it was. Oh yeah, the mechanics. What brand new movement mechanics would I want for next chapter? Speaking of movement, okay, so I wouldn't mind if Epic Games kept the Chapter 5 movement for Chapter 6. Or maybe they revamp the movement all over again for Chapter 6. So maybe Chapter 6 has its own movement style, just like Chapter 5 did. But I wouldn't mind if Epic Games kept the Chapter 5 movement style for Chapter 6. I wouldn't mind that at all. But I also wouldn't mind if Epic Games brought back the old movement from the first 4 chapters back for Chapter 6. I would not mind that at all either. But again, like I said earlier, also I would not mind that at all if Epic Games kept the Chapter 5 movement style for Chapter 6. I would not mind that at all. Okay, something just popped into my head. The graphics. Obviously, each chapter the graphics change. So from Chapter 1 from Chapter 1 to Chapter 2, the graphics changed massively. From Chapter 2 to Chapter 3, the graphics didn't really change that much, but it changed a bit. From Chapter 3 to Chapter 4, the graphics changed massively, and from Chapter 4 to Chapter 5, the graphics also changed massively. I think out of all 4 chapters, the one chapter that had the best graphics and unironically, the one chapter that has the best graphics is the chapter that I think is the worst chapter in Fortnite's history, and of course that is chapter 4. And yes, I do think chapter 4 had the best graphics. Like the graphics in chapter 4 were top notch. Those graphics were insane. Like those graphics were top. Like the graphics for chapter 4 was beautiful. Although I hated the chapter 4 map, the chapter 4 graphics made it where the chapter 4 map looked beautiful. Honestly, like the graphics for chapter 4 were absolutely were beautiful, dude. I again, I would honestly love it if Epic Games were to bring back the chapter 4 graphics for chapter 6. Although I really don't think they're gonna bring back the chapter 4 graphics again, because when Fortnite changes their graphics, they either keep those graphics or change those graphics. I don't think Epic Games would ever revert back to the OG graphics unless it's for season OG. So for last year's season OG, obviously they brought back the OG graphics. For this year's season OG, which is going to have chapter 2, they're obviously going to bring back the chapter 2 graphics. And if they do a chapter 3 OG, obviously they're going to bring back the chapter 3 graphics. If they're going to do a chapter 4 OG, obviously they're going to bring back the chapter 4 graphics. And if they do a chapter 5 OG, of course, they're going to bring back the chapter 5 graphics. But when it comes to a brand new chapter, I don't think Epic Games would revert back to an old chapter graphic or graphics. Yeah, I don't think they would do that. But would I love it? Yes, I would absolutely love it if Fortnite brought back the beautiful looking chapter 4 graphics back for chapter 6. I would honestly not mind that at all, and I would absolutely be down for that. But again, do I think Epic Games will do that? No. But that's just me throwing stuff out there on what I would want for next chapter. Okay, now back to what I was going to say back when I was thinking about movement and mechanics. What brand new movement mechanics would I like for next chapter? Leakers have found. I think leakers found this back in chapter 4. There is a movement mechanic that allows you to run on walls, like run directly on walls. I think that'll be amazing for chapter 6. I think, if I'm being honest, I think that's the very movement. I think that's going to be the new movement mechanic for next chapter. Because if you guys know, each chapter for Fortnite we get a brand new movement mechanic. For chapter 2, it was swimming. For chapter 3, it was what did we get? Oh yeah, for chapter 3, it was sliding and sprinting and mantling. For chapter 4, it was the augments. And for chapter 5, what do we get? And for chapter 5, it was. And for chapter 5, we got an entirely new movement speed, new movement. Oh God, what's the word I'm looking for? A new movement. New movement model. Okay, let me restart. So for chapter 5, we got. Okay, oh my God, my brain is tough. My brain is toasted right now. So for chapter 5, Epic Games revamped the entire movement mechanic. Like they changed the movement speed, they changed the way our players move, and yeah, basically they changed almost everything about movement. And then for chapter 6, it would make sense that we get this wall running mechanic that's been leaked for over 2 years now, or over a year now. So yeah, it would make sense that the new movement mechanic that we're getting for next chapter, it would make sense for it to be the long awaited the wall running leak. Basically, I think the new movement mechanic that we're gonna get for next chapter would be the wall running that allows you to run on walls. I think that'll be the new movement mechanic that we would get for next chapter, for chapter 6. Okay, now in terms of locations, I don't know, honestly. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say about this. Okay, so locations. I can't tell you guys what locations I would want, because each chapter we get entirely new locations. Like ever since chapter 4, right? We've gotten new locations. We have not gotten old locations. We've gotten remixes of locations, but ever since chapter 4, we've never gotten any old locations up until season OG. But obviously in chapter 5, we got entirely new locations and no old locations. So if Epic Games were to bring back old locations for Chapter 6, which I highly doubt, I'm going to give you guys a few locations that I would like to see in Chapter 6. I would love to see, let me think. Okay, before I go into locations, what biomes would I like for Chapter 6? Okay, I would, honestly, we haven't had a desert biome since Chapter 3. Obviously, right now we're in Chapter 5, Season 3, where they gave us a wasteland biome. The new wasteland biome, that is a wasteland biome. That's not a desert biome. Well, I mean, it is technically a desert biome, but I'm talking more specifically about the Chapter 3 desert biome. You know, like a natural desert biome. For Chapter 6, the number one biome I would like to see and that I want is a natural desert biome. That is, in terms of biomes, I want a natural desert biome. I also want a snow biome because each chapter on the map we always have a snow biome, and of course we have your typical green grass biome. So I really hope it gets basically the number. Okay, so for in terms of biomes, I want a natural desert biome for next chapter. Also, I just remembered that chapter 6 is gonna have floating islands. So I don't think Epic Games is gonna add a desert biome because that wouldn't really make sense. Because if the entire Chapter 6 island is floating islands, which I highly doubt, but if that is the case, if the entire Chapter 6 island is basically floating islands, I don't think a desert biome would make sense. But if only like half the map is floating islands, then the other half could have normal biomes like green grass biome, snow biome, and a natural desert biome, which is what I want. Okay, now back to locations. If Epic Games were to bring back all locations for next chapter, which I highly doubt, what locations would I want? Okay, let me think. Okay, let me actually think about this. At first, I was going to say Salty Springs, but again, we haven't seen Salty Springs since chapter 2. Well, obviously, last year it returned the season OG, but I'm thinking about like an actual chapter, like an actual new chapter. We have not seen Salty Springs nor Pleasant Park since chapter 2. Let me think. What locations would I want? I'm trying to think. I would love the agency to come back, but let's be real. Epic Games is never gonna bring back. They're never gonna bring back the agency. Although they are bringing back for this year's season OG, it's gonna be chapter 2. So obviously they're gonna bring it back. They're gonna be back for chapter 2 OG. But I don't think they'll bring back the agency for a new chapter. Honestly, I'm trying to think. Like honestly, don't know what locations I would want. Because my favorite locations of all time in Fortnite is Salty Springs, Pleasant Park, Lazy Links, not Lazy Links, Lazy Lake, Tilted Towers, the Agency, the Grotto, Mega City, the Cube Town POI we had back in chapter 2 season 8. But Epic Games wouldn't bring back all those locations. Because my favorite locations, I don't think Epic Games would bring back for a new chapter. Okay, let's just skip over the locations part. So I honestly don't know what locations I would want. And keeping in mind, yeah, okay, let's skip over that part. Okay, now let's go over what guns would I want. Again, ever since chapter 3, we have not gotten the return of OG classic guns. I'm talking normal pump shotgun, normal assault rifles, normal SMGs. Heck, we haven't gotten a rocket launcher return since chapter 3. But you know, obviously they brought back rocket launchers for. Actually, no, I think they brought them back for chapter 4 season 1. Actually, no, yeah. I believe I could be wrong, but I think they brought back rocket launchers for chapter 4 season 1, but I could be wrong. But yeah, back to what I was saying. We have not gotten the return of OG classic guns since chapter 3. Basically, ever since chapter 3, Epic Games have been giving us new guns for each chapters. Like a new pump shotgun, new assault rifles, new SMGs, new snipers, basically new everything. But basically for each chapter, ever since chapter 3, we've gotten a brand new revamp of each OG gun, like assault rifles, shotguns, SMGs, snipers, everything. And yeah, so in terms of guns, I don't really have to say anything about the guns because obviously Epic Games is gonna revamp each gun. Next for chapter 6, we're definitely gonna get a revamped pump shotgun, revamped assault rifle, revamped SMG, and a revamped sniper. So I don't really know what I would want for the guns category. So let's skip over that as well. Okay, something just came up into my mind. Another thing I want them to bring back is OG vaults. I want them to bring back OG vaults with bosses and with key cards and with mythics. Speaking of mythics, another thing I want for next chapter, I want them to bring back exotics. When was the last time we got a brand new exotic for normal BR? What was the last time? Chapter 4. Chapter 4 of Season 1 was the last time we had new exotics. At the start of Chapter 5, they vaulted all exotics from Battle Royale. Chapter 5 doesn't have a single exotic. All the exotics have just been vaulted for Chapter 5. For Chapter 6, I want them to bring back exotics. Like, I just want them to bring back exotics. Maybe for next chapter, instead of the bosses dropping a mythic, maybe this time the bosses for chapter 6 drop exotics. That would be cool. I would honestly be cool with that. And of course, bring back key cards and vaults. Also for chapter 6, I also want them to bring back the OG cars. Like bring back the taxi, the OG truck, the OG car, and yeah, just bring back taxis, the OG truck, and the OG car. And also for the cars, right? For the cars you paid for, I would make it where you can only get those through the Lamborghini or through the Fortnite version of Lamborghini. So I wanted to bring back the taxi. So I wanted to bring back the taxi and the OG car and the OG truck. That would be amazing. Obviously, for next chapter, they keep SUVs, and they also keep the Fortnite version of the Lamborghini or whatever. The Whiplash, that one, the Whiplash, and yeah. But yeah, guys, I think that's everything for this video. I just want to let you guys know on what I would want for Chapter 6, things I want for Chapter 6, guns I want for. But basically, I just want to make a video on what I would want for Chapter 6. If you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys would like to support me, please consider subscribing, because we're so close to 400 subs. We're literally 5 subscribers away. We're literally 5 people away from reaching 400 subs. We just need 5 people. We just need 5 nice people to subscribe and help me reach 400 subs. But yeah, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys on my next video. Bye. Have a great rest of your day. Yeah, bye.